Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Look at Nina. She's
welcome. Hold on. I disappeared. No, I'm back. Hello, everyone. Hello to our audience. Hello to all of you. Good to see everyone.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So is that the dog?
Nina, how are you? Audience. Hello to all of you. Good to see everyone.
Yes, somebody's volume is up. So
how are you doing with your can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. How are you doing with your computer now, Nina? What happened with that?
I'm actually using an old computer with an old camera, so I
look Somebody's got feedback. Somebody has a volume up to listen to the chat. Is it me?
I don't have a chat.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it
me?
Go
for it. I don't know. It just kind of went weird. Go ahead. So explain to us what happened. So how have you fixed it?
So right now I just have a makeshift on an old computer, so I look kind of like a ghost.
What happened? So how have you fixed it? See, so there's feedback.
Somebody has something on, guys. Old computer, so I look kind of like a ghost.
What happened? So how have you fixed it? See, there's feedback.
Somebody has something on, guys. Who's okay?
And there was a whole bunch
of thinking feedback. Maybe it sounded like somebody had an iPad on or something.
Exactly. It's like they were listening to it.
Exactly.
At the same time we were talking. It's like the feedback. So some.
Sorry.
Oh gosh.
I got my cats in the room.
I'll tell you what.
Up. Awful. Hi guys. Is Wendy coming back?
She'll be back.
Every week I have somebody who's a disappearing death.
It's something. It is something. I tell you what. I am the electronic. It's like boom. Everybody comes like a coffee shop. Show up. Come on.
Yep. It's hard. It's hard.
Oh, Whimsy will be back.
All righty. How is everybody?
Yes. Hello. I see everybody popping in. It's the musical readers. Yep, exactly. I mean, if it was you, it was, it's Whimsy, it was me, and we were just going back and forth.
Yeah.
All right. So, there she is. I was kind of giving a. There
that
she is.
Weird. It was like I think I had a couple different things open at the same time. Anyway, I apologize.
That's okay. The sound's great. The musical readers, as they call us now.
Well, what was happening was I was trying to send the link to the show for my people, so my people get delayed, and then they come on like 20 minutes later, and they get angry and frustrated. So I don't know. You should subscribe to Sheila, then you'll get her notification, and then you won't have this problem.
There you go. Okay, so Nina, now we really want to pay attention. Explain us what your journey with your computer, because you look perfect today. It was just it's crystal clear. Beautiful. You look solid.
Absolutely gorgeous.
God willing. Now I will say thank you to everybody, because I got emails, I got comments about what to do. I having no ability. I just went, here, husband, do this. So he got some kind of wire and got the old computer and set it up, got the old camera. So this is just a in-between until I finally get an Apple rotor. So Merry Christmas to Mama.
Yeah.
Next year's Christmas is already covered. Yeah. It was either that or not go live. And I love the energy and being with you guys. So it was like a have to. So yay.
Well, I was going to start a GoFundMe for your computer. It was like, we're going to get out of her computer. I was going to go do a live. I'm like, hey, all the donations go to Nina's computer. Help the husband out.
Yeah. Well, God bless him. He's Mr. Fix It, so I can't complain, right?
Yeah, no. That's perfect. So, chickens. We want to know about chickens.
Oh yes, how have you been with the farm and the last time you were talking? It was like you were in a kind of Shangri-La. We all wanted to pack up and go be with you. How is all of that?
They're all doing really well. It's wintertime now. And when I tell you they're treated better than some people are treated, I'm not kidding. They have their own house. They have heating lamps. So it's never like anytime it's cold, all their water are heated. And we do it by solar panels to try to save electricity. Like, you know, any way that we can try to make things run of its own accord, that's how we do it. So I don't know how to explain it, but it's not me, it's my husband. And he can do anything. He fixes the cars, he can build a garage. He's a doer, and he's always got to be working. So there's always something like, dear God, help me. I'm going to be getting pigs this summer. Woo-hoo. He wants 2 piglets, and he wants to get a goat. And I'm like, I don't want a goat. But they're so
no, goats are great. Goats are great.
I know, I love them. That's why. I mean, I'm going to be outside going, hi, Welcomized Corner and my sheep, and look what they're doing today. I love them. I hang out.
Have a separate comedy show, like a separate reality comedy show about your life on the farm. It would just be hysterical.
Oh,
I
get such a kick out of them. There's so many. There's such characters, and when we get the ducks, oh my, hours just watching them flood around, and I got like a little pool that they go into, and I just love it. Me and nature, we're just best friends. I like nature better than people, so
I get that.
Yeah.
I always say that. It's like I love my children and my grandchildren, but I really prefer the company of my dogs.
Speaking of comedy, has anybody been checking out the comedy lately? I thought we were done with Trump. I mean,
some of my favorite are Seth Meyers. Has anybody subscribed to Seth Meyers? He comes up with the best. I love how he portrays the Republicans, but he also has everything that he says is truth. He never puts in anything that is not true. I also like the Daily Show with Trevor.
Me too.
You guys watch Trevor?
Yeah.
He is funny. Yeah. And of course, the last one I watch all the time is the Late Night with James Corden.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Corden. He's from England. He has that accent, and it's too funny. Too funny. So anybody, you guys?
I don't watch him, but I do watch Carpool Karaoke because he does Carpool Karaoke, and it's fantastic. The one with Adele. I mean, can we just clap for Adele? What a fantastic person, singer.
She's a good actor. I loved her on SNL.
She's just amazing. I love her. Like, I love people that are authentically themselves. You know, whatever they are in front of you, that's what they are behind closed doors. She's one of those people. You can feel it. I love her.
Yeah, he did a thing with Michelle Obama, didn't he? When he did the car. Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. So I keep on going back and watching everything that they had with Michelle Obama, and I miss so much. I mean, they did such great things, and all of these things are coming up on YouTube now for me to watch, and I'm like, dang, I miss that too. You know what I mean? I just took it for granted. I will never take it for granted anymore. Yeah. Never again will I ever take it for granted. The presidency and a good president in there. So who do you like?
Can we just give kudos to Biden, because what a difference a week makes to see some, we have people up there talking in full sentences, using verbiage, using proper terminology. Dr. Fauci looks like he lost 20 years and he's just like, woohoo. And what's that doctor's name? That's the female doctor that was with Dr. Fauci?
We don't know. We don't know about her, but she did an interview. What was her name?
No, she's a fraud. I'm just beyond belief with her.
Well, she actually knows her stuff. She was her mentor was Dr.
Thank you.
I mean, I think she was trying to tread water. The conflict that a lot of people said that that left the Trump administration. They said, well, if I leave, then this thing's it was like they felt like they had to stay or everything was going to go belly up. And so then they had to answer to, why did you stay in this administration?
I know. I saw her interview, and then I saw on the thing on, what was it, CNN or something like that, she did a comparison. Like, you said this, but you did this. Yes. You said this, but you did this. And I watched that too. I'm like, well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. My feeling is that
what was her justification? How did she justify it?
She didn't. And now she's on her apology tour to try to build up her reputation. The reality is that she had many times where she stood still when Trump was saying, can't you put Javex in your arm? Can't you do this? Can't you do that? She stood there and just went and then put her head down. She did not go up to the podium and speak out. She did not try to push up against Trump. She was, if it wasn't for Fauci,
she did.
But what would have been accomplished if she had done that? She probably would have gotten fired, and then she would have had death threats, and he would have gone after her on Twitter. It's not a winning strategy with Trump to confront him like that and say, no, you're wrong. It might give you kudos with, people like me, yay, but in the end, she probably would have gotten fired and been replaced by a yes person. So I don't know if, objectively speaking, it would have made our situation any better. I don't know.
Well, Dr. Fauci was able to walk that line. He was able to speak up to Trump. He was able to let people in the media know that he had an issue. She chose to be a Trumpster. Now, I feel personally that at the time, she did not do the necessary things in order to do like what Fauci did, to let people know there's something here. He let people know. When Trump made a misinformation, he would get up and go to the podium and just softly, gently try to make it better. She did not do any of that. She lacked character. Sorry. No.
I get what you're both saying. What were her choices at the time? However, if how can I put this? There's nobody, not even Trump, is going to take away my integrity.
Yeah.
I think is what we're trying to say. She failed with her integrity on a few occasions that she just kind of backed up. Now, even Fauci says he did not take pleasure in going against the president. This is the reason why he even softened on a few occasions. But what he did was he kept his integrity the whole time. He wouldn't, he wouldn't make excuses for Trump like she did. Oh, he's probably doing this. Oh, he's probably doing that, and things like that. I think that's where the contrast of like, okay, we can get behind you, but don't jeopardize your integrity at the same time.
I think there's a dynamics of how men and women are able to present themselves in the workplace as well. In her defense, that it's harder to be a woman in a position of power than it is a man. So I think Dr. Fauci had just mere fact that he was a man gave him a little bit more ability to speak than she. So I'm not trying to knock her. It's just that I wish she had to have shown a little bit more character in the way that Dr. Fauci did. And this saying, well, what else could she do? Well, if we don't do the opposite of what we always did, then we're going to keep getting what we got. And that's what we got. And had we not had a Dr. Fauci, then this could have really went wrong in a lot of ways. I mean, they're finding out now that the rollout was not even properly done and all the tools were there for them. I mean, this was a case of not just that they were buffoons, they purposely did this to make this catastrophe. It was more important for them to screw the new Biden administration coming in than for them to protect Americans. Like, my God, like that's huge.
It is
so
huge.
In that huge arena, I wish she had to have stepped up a little bit better. That's all I wish. And this is the year of women. You're seeing women come on top. You're seeing women speak and I just, that's my feeling, Yeah,
I feel like he had medical advisors that were basically giving him a lot of misinformation. One of the things that they were saying is, oh, it's got a low mortality rate. Just let everybody get infected and we'll just develop immunity that way. So I think some of the passivity that we're seeing is just because it was this false idea that, well, that not that many people will die. We'll just protect the vulnerable people and we'll just have herd immunity, which of course doesn't work because the people that don't know they have it because they only have it in the nasal passage. This is another thing as a doctor that drives me crazy. You can have the infection, but it's only in the nasal passages. It never makes its way to the lungs. So you think, oh, there's no big deal. But you get a huge viral load in the lungs, you're dead in 5 days. I don't care how healthy you are because it can hide out. So that's my frustration with just the fact that they were gagging the CDC and that unfortunately, the misinformation, now we're seeing the consequences. So many people are dying.
Well, you see, for an insurrection, the COVID and keeping everybody at home did not play into his plan. You see, he cannot allow his people to stay home. That's the reason why he threw it that way. That's the reason why he cut them, back. Because how is he going to get an army together to take over the government when everybody believes that they're going to die if they go out of the house? So that's the reason why it did not work for him. It wasn't going to work for him. And that was the best that he could do, is throw so much shade and so much problems at it. And he was not going, and he could have cared less if the next, setting them up for success. This is not a president who set him up for success. Like Obama set him up for success.
Yeah.
He rode on the coattails of Obama for at least 3 years, until the last year when he just destroyed anything and everything. Because he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The momentum of Obama carried you through. I just want to say
100%. 100%. He took credit for anything that he did.
Yes.
And I don't mean to put a negative tone on this. I'm just, from the outside looking in, the complacency, just to go back to the doctor. This is, to me, the feeling was like, how did Hitler come in power? It was because of people being scared, people being put in fear, people being told, here's the boogeyman. If we go after this person or this thing, everything's going to be okay. And you could see it happening in the United States. Blatant false information being followed. Conspiracy theories that are beyond comprehension, that not only hurt people, but hurt the things that are real, that are actually happening. So when I get passionate about complicity when it comes to the doctor or to people who are in it, I feel passionately because I feel, but for the grace of God, there goes Hitler. And that's what's happening in the United States. It has been mortifyingly scary to see what's been happening. And I'm sorry, I don't want to come off as though like I'm being silly, but that's what happened. That's why millions of people died. And there's hundreds of thousands of people that died in the United States. And it was because of Trump.
Yeah.
When history looks back at this, he is going to be the Hitler of this time.
Well, I think that actually brings us to the conversation of the day, which is that a lot of people feel like, thank God we got rid of Trump, that nightmare's over. But what we're unfortunately finding out is that he's back again. He's reincarnated with Josh Hawley and all these crazies in the Republican Party. And it's, we're really seeing civil war. And I don't know, how do y'all feel about that? The Civil War, the Josh Hawleys, the crazy lady with the crazy blonde lady they're trying to get rid of. It feels to me like we've gotten rid of Trump, but this problem is much bigger than Trump.
Yeah. And we've been saying that all along, hey? Yeah.
Yep.
We got something happening here now.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So definitely jot these all down because I want to read on these. But we have a special guest today.
Yes.
Ooh.
She's very sweet. I love her. She has an accent, and I have adored her the moment I came across her channel. So I really, really want to introduce to you.
Where am I?
Footprint.
That's me. I'm touched. I'm more touched than if I've been in the sun for several days.
Hi, honey.
Hi. I have been listening.
I want to introduce everybody, to Footprint. She lives in Australia, and I'm going to hand over to her. She's going to tell us a little bit about her, how she got into tarot, and things like that. So go for it. Go for it, Chrissy.
Hi. Hey, how you going? I got into tarot. We'll do this first. By actually watching news stories about Trump. I was just seeing the same thing over and over and over from the news channels with different things, and I wanted a different view. So I looked at it and I thought, well, see what tarot readers about, because there's been a bit of tarot stuff and psychic stuff through my family and all that, and it's something I've just really steered clear of for most of my life, except for when my mum used to read my tarot cards every year and tell me I was going to get married. Okay, that eventually happened, but not as quick as she wanted. That was cameo. And I came across Kirsten Langston, and I just fell in love with the whole thing, got myself a guest. This was a few years ago now. And, you know, started learning, watching a lot of people. And it took me quite a while to say, and I started my channel just with videos. Get out of the way, you drama queen. You'll occasionally see her face, but mostly you see her butt or her tail. And watching Trump brought me, well, you know, plus a very old draw that I'd ignored for a long time, a very strong pull to it that I'd ignored for a long time. And it's been an absolutely wonderful experience. It's opened me up to so much. I feel I'm a much better person for having, you know, joined and
that's awesome. Given
into the pool. And it's helped me develop and grow as a person and everything. So I absolutely love it and adore it. The other side of what I do is I'm actually a scientist. I'm a geospatial scientist, and you know my degree is in geomorphology, which is physical geography, the shaping of the earth by wind and water, basically. And I also work when I have a job with geographic information systems and remote sensing, which is satellite imagery, UAV imagery, and things like that, and do analysis with that. So it's sort of been, it was a bit of a wild side with a very critical mind coming into contact with this other side of me. And it's somebody said, oh, there's no critical thinking in tarot. And I said, I beg to differ. And yeah, so it's, I love it. I love it. It's the best thing I've ever done is taking the time to learn. I've learned more about myself. I've learned more about other people. And it's one of the best things I've ever done. And speaking of comics, Stephen Colbert every time for me.
Love
honestly, if I wasn't married, that man's wife would stand a chance. I would be over there on the first plane available and saying, come here. Cameo wants you, Daddy.
Very nice. Well, welcome, Chrissy. I adore you. I really do. I jump in on your lives every so often. If I don't know if somebody in the chat can post her link to her YouTube channel so that people can go and definitely enjoy what she does. So here we go.
Yeah. Okay. What's the question?
Well, we're going to definitely get into. I think I'm going to hand it over to Whimsy. Whimsy has a little bit of a remote and some information about some of the first things that we're going to read on, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I went ahead and I did. Hi, everybody. So I did a remote view last night. I did a meditation last night based on some of the questions that I've gotten for the channel. One of the main things that people are concerned about is the stock market, because the stock market dropped again today. People feel that the stock market is not stable because they don't know what's happening, that it's been propped up, that it's a fake stock market. People wanted to check on that. It's interesting when you go into the energy, a lot of the people are upset because of what's happening with people shorting GameStop, and people, the billionaires and billionaires who are in hedge funds have lost billions of dollars, and they're concerned that because they've lost billions of dollars, they will then pull out of their more stable investments and put them somewhere. We're concerned about people pulling out of the market. That was the main thing. And people want to know, is that some of the upset that we saw happen, or that I saw happening January, February, along with everything else? So that was one of the main things I did a remote view on. The last thing had to do with problems in the State Department. I did sneak in and I did look around the State Department. The good news about the State Department isn't that they corrupted or sabotaged that wasn't the main problem I had. The main problem I had was that nobody did anything. And so you have whole departments and whole relationships that have basically been dropped for like 4 years, which in a way is good and bad. It's good because they didn't mess with stuff and they didn't touch a lot of stuff. It's bad because literally we dropped off the map in terms of our relationships. So people want to know about, John Kerry is working on the environment, but John Kerry also may be asked to come back and help with the State Department turnover because literally they abandoned the State Department for so many years. So those are the two main things that I looked at. I don't know if you want to talk about them or.
Well, we can definitely throw on the stock market and see what's going on with that. How about that? Let's start there. Go ahead. And sometimes what we do is we put Chrissy, if you wanted to, kind of put yourself on mute so that you can shuffle and all that, and then unmute. It just kind of takes the sound down a little.
You mean this is annoying?
All righty. So let's. The first question is, what is the exact question about the stock market? What do we?
Yeah. Are we going to get a crash? Is it stable? I think that's what we want.
Okay. Is it stable?
The stock market, hey?
Okay, I'll go first if everybody's still doing their thing. I've done previous readings on the stock market and have always said that it is blown up. It's been put fake money into it. The funny thing now with this gaming store stop thingamajiggy, a bunch of people went in, and the hedge funders who usually say, oh, this company's going to go under, let's make money this way, all of a sudden a group on social media decided, hey, we're not going to let that happen. And then the stock market price went up exponentially, which is confusing the stock market, which is already inflated, but is like, hold on now, we inflate it and we know what's happening, but you're not allowed to inflate it because now it's real people in real time affecting it. And the funny thing is that a lot of these people that are complaining about it are the same people who own stock in the same game place that is actually making money. So even though they're losing money, they're actually gaining money. It's like a win or a win-lose. It doesn't matter. The rich are still going to get rich and the poor are still going to get poor. So the reality is that they're in judgment. They're kind of going, hold on now. We know it's fake. We know how we're going to work this system. Don't you little people, you little peons, come on and try to do something different. This is beyond their comprehension. This is their game to play. Don't let little people come in and play with it. But now the world is seeing it. This is probably the beginning of the change of how we are going to be dealing with economics on a world stage. Money and the stock market and everything will always have its place, but there's going to be an upset. There's going to be a change in how we do things. This is going to, because now it's almost like there's a world stage now. So now things are bigger and you have to deal with things on a bigger scale. So it's also going to be dealing with the change of how we deal with things. At the end of it, we got the Empress reverse. So the stock market's going to be taking a dip. And I feel as though some of the outside stocks, like ones that are kind of always do well, they'll kind of keep going, but there's going to be like big fluxes, and now it's almost like a game because there's going to be more people wanting to kind of go on and say, hey, I can have a little bit of fun with this too. And it's sort of like, you kind of got to say, there's a little part that you're going, yay, the little man got up and actually put them in their place. And it's not like they put up these good people that always do right in their place. They put people that screw us and become rich and rich and rich and rich. So I think it's kind of funny. I got a little chuckle out of it myself, but that's my feeling. So, you know. I think you're going to see a little fluctuation there.
Well,
Cool.
the money card. I got the page of all cards are inverted except the first one, which is the issue of money and who has the money. Look at this. They were propping up the market. You can see the money, and then now people are pulling out of the market. And this also could be government assistance. So if the government is somehow trying to stabilize this, an inverted Six of Pentacles as karma is not good over the market, because it could indicate that the feds were attempting to stabilize things, and we could see changes from the feds that are not going to be too good, because these are also partnership cards. You can see here the partnership ending, Ten of Swords moving in, people angry and frustrated because they're starting to realize that the price of stocks isn't real. A lot of anger and a lot of fighting going on too. But I think there could be, with these, look at this, temper, anger, instability, fighting, depression, stabbed in the back, contracts ending, experts pulling out of investments, hope and fears that this depression could go on past spring, final outcome negotiating with investors. Look at that. The problem is what it looks like is that the hedge fund people who can make you a billionaire by, we'll hedge our bets. These are the 10 companies that are going to go under. And I know they're going to go under because it's technology that's going extinct. So everybody's guaranteed to make billions betting against these stocks. This is a betting pool, but they're out. Look at that. They're out. So what's happening to these hedge fund people is that their investors are pulling out, and the hedge funds could be potentially going belly up because it's no longer a sure deal for billionaires. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yeah, hi. Well, I got basically the kings of the industry, the kings of Pentacles, and they got a huge fright because somebody beat them at their own game. And if it wasn't for this thing called Robin Hood or something that stepped in and stopped it happening, it could have gotten even worse for them. But somebody stepped in and beat them at their own game. It's caused quite a few sleepless nights, not just for these guys who basically deserve a few sleepless nights, thank you. But it's also, as Whimsy said, it's caused a bit of anxiety in the general public, because it's like, well, is this how easily it can be manipulated? And we all know that Trump was doing it several times over the course of his presidency, injecting cash into the stock market and things like that. And so it is. And yeah, unfortunately, the stock market is something that can be manipulated. I do think the second line I have here is there's the line of the investigator and prosecutor. There's going to be some, I don't know what you call it over there here, but we call it ASIC, the Australian Security Investment Commission. And there's going to be some form of investigation in there. They always, when they're very quietly behind the scenes, do look at things, at least over here, so I assume they do that there. There's going to be a few more truths come out about the stock market before this is all over, and it might upset people and cause a little bit of anxiety, but it's stuff that has to come out. So I think people are going to get a bit of a crash course in what really happens on Wall Street somewhere along the line. At the end of it, there'll be a leveling out. There usually is at some stage. You can't keep going up or down or like this all the time. So at some stage there's going to be a leveling out. This is a major arcana, so I'd say it's a little bit further away than closer. The third line I've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is the sitting pretty card. So, of course, a lot of people got upset because these beginners came in and played people at their own game, and really, corporate stock market, they lost quite a bit. And so, again, it's going to be possibly more people are going to, more of the little people might come in and have a bit more of a dabble. they've still got to be careful because corporate America is very, very ruthless. But it might, if some people can see how easily it's manipulated, and some people have seen it, there might also be a bit of a loss from some of these, and people putting their investment in different areas for especially those who are investing for their families, like trust funds and things like that, who have an investment that is perpetual towards the family good and all that. So they might lose some of that. So, but overall, I think it will even out as it eventually does. But it's in for a bit of a rough time, I think.
Thank you, Chrissy. I am. So listening to all you, I have to be honest. I don't understand the stock market like other people do. I have stocks. My lady at the bank takes care of it. She calls me up and says we're going good. Okay, thanks. And that's about all I know. Okay, so I just really want to put that out there that I just don't. So my cards, the first thing that came up was the hidden dishonor, the Seven of Swords, the hidden dishonor, and then it brought me down to the union of the hidden dishonor. Is how it has been going and what has been happening with that. And then I got the Four of Wands where it did work, and the Nine of Cups. Life is good. They were doing everything. They were, that hidden dishonor. Everybody was profiting. I have no idea how, how the thing worked where they were just doing that hidden dishonor, and then the leadership and then the triumph. But what happened was that, full speed ahead, but it ended. It ended. And then what is also going to end is all of that, whatever has been going on, how they've been doing it, it has been exposed. It's going to change because we also have balance coming in at the end of the whole situation. It's almost like this is my feeling about it. And like I told you, I couldn't tell you how to do a stock anything. My feeling is that there was a whole bunch of dishonor in the beginning. Everybody was making the money. Now that it's been exposed, it can no longer happen. It's going to, the end of all of that, and we're going to have a new way of doing it, and that's going to bring the balance where everybody can be involved again. Everybody can put their money in there again, and we're going to have a little bit better. I don't know how that's going to happen. But that's the feeling of my reading is that's, it doesn't mean, and I don't think it's going to happen like right now. I feel like 2, maybe 3 years down the road in order for this whole problem to be fixed, or at least start the uptick of a healthy economy as we should have it. So that's what I got on that. All right. Anybody else have any things that they want to read on?
Well, what do y'all think about the whole crazy with the State Department? I mean, here's the thing that has me nervous when I go into the energy on the State Department. Two things got my attention. The first is that they just abandoned it. That they sent 1 or 2 emails to Paraguay, and then nothing happened. It's like it's this kind of apathy you see when you go into the energy. The other thing that could potentially become a major story, probably will in the coming months, it looks like they had a lot of security breaches happening. So evidence of data breaches and poor management under Pompeo. So we're gonna go in, if they haven't already, and find out that we were just cleaned out. That's what it looks like.
Okay, let's definitely read on the state of the State Department underneath Pompeo. Let's see what's going on with that.
And I'll look at what they found, or
let's see. Yeah, look and see what they found. See how bad it is. Let's see how bad the what state Pompeo left it in.
Okay.
Pompeo, who wants to be president, right?
Cameo was just sitting here, and I divided the deck up into little piles, and I went to grab one of the little piles, and she's like, get away, mine. And she's like, slides a card off the top.
Is that your kitty? Your kitty's doing that?
Yeah,
Making
that's my kitty. In fact, this is the card here that she was sliding off the top. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun here and pull that and see what that says about the State Department. I love your cat there, Nina. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. And when you were talking about your journey into tarot, you mentioned Kristen Langston. She was, I used to watch her faithfully when she first came out. She was the one that I was like, now, you know, she liked to curse a lot and stuff, but I loved her. She was fantastic. And she was the one who kind of got me interested in it too.
I laughed. I sat there the first thing I saw. I think it was a quick and dirty, and I just laughed and laughed and laughed and said, there's something here for me. For me, humour is a mainstay of life. And if you can address serious subjects with seriousness, but humour as well is,
She did a lot of celebrity reads, and I'm all in for celebrity everything. I know I'm still like that. Like, I'm still a teenager. I still know who's doing what, who's sleeping with whom. I can't help it. I can't tell you the song they sing, but I can tell you who they're sleeping with. I love it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go first with that.
Sorry.
No. That's exactly what this is about. So the temperance, the balance, the reconciliation. Now, the reason why this card come up here is this one here, the Five of Wands. Do you see the picture on the Five of Wands? Shut everybody up. Shut everybody down. Be quiet, because we are now going to celebrate us in that State Department. This is going to be about us. It's not going to be about them anymore. We also have missed opportunities, meaning that all the opportunities that were there for us, for the United States, they were all missed. They were all put aside. And I also get the Page of Cups as well, which is that hopeless romantic. Like, he was hoping that it would work. He was really hoping it would work. He was the one that was also telling everybody that, Trump is going to have a second a second term. He's going to have a second term. He was very, very into that and talking about that. And he knew, because I remember watching him, and he took in that, when he starts to lie, he starts to breathe in instead of out. He's going to do it, and he had that total thing, because we have the Ten of Cups and then we have Justice. He knew that if somebody got in there and really found out what is going on and how he's been handling it and what he's been doing, which is this, justice is going to come for him. So this is what I got out of the whole situation, was that whatever he's been doing out there, however he's been doing it, it was nothing about us. It was all about them and the party and getting them money and getting 45, doing what he needed to do, support him up. He was in deep. So whoever's next, go for it.
I did a quick cross here with a couple of clarifiers on one of the cards. Is they working in the State Department, they thought working with somebody new, it would be a renewal, new energy coming in, but it wasn't the type of energy they wanted, and they were really disappointed and pretty much shattered when they found out what was happening. The challenge for them at the moment is actually believing that there's this new energy is here and that they can move forward and start things up again and move forward, because there's still a lot of leftover angst. They were disappointed time and time again, and this person's childish tantrums. Really, the State Department, you might think the DOJ was the one hardest hit by Trump and his antics, but actually this reading tells me it was the State Department, because he pulled out of so many things and he threatened so many other countries, and it ended up that no matter how hard they tried to keep the lines of communication open, they couldn't. The tipping point that sent these guys into apathy, and was this. This is the tipping point into apathy. And Maria, the lady from the Ukraine. I can't remember her, Yovanovitch, or what's her name? The ambassador?
Yeah, she's a Russian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we know who you're talking about. The one that was for the Ukraine, the Yovanovitch.
Yovanovitch, yeah, the one who was
Yovanovitch?
fired basically, and he threatened. For them, what he did with her was just, my God, we can't do anything. If we try and do anything right, if we try and do anything that shows integrity, it's going to be swift and nasty. So this is why I put on, first I asked, was it her? And yes, because he, you know, what he did to her was like blindingly out. She was happy in her position one day, the next she's gone. It happened so quickly. And it really, really, really focused the rest of the world onto their State Department like nothing before. And they felt like they couldn't handle this. They couldn't juggle it. They weren't being given clear direction in order to balance things with other countries and stuff. So in their near future, it's like taking Trump's agenda and throwing it out the window, basically. So this is an agenda. But also, he's got stuff embedded in there now that they have to weed out. So, and very, very unwise stuff. So they've got to weed it out, and it's going to take a little while to get rid of the stench, basically. They're still finding it hard. Like I said, the challenge was to believe that they're on this new journey with the new president, and they're still finding it a bit hard to believe that, so that are things really going to change, you know? It will, but they're still finding it a bit hard. It's been 4 years of basically being cut loose and everything that they believe in being trashed. And it's still really hard. What other people see, the 10 of Cups, this is actually my card for the Republicans because of the rainbow. For decades now, the Republicans have been a facade of the party they should be, an illusion of the party they should be. And people put this firmly not at Trump's feet, but at the Republican Party's feet, where basically it belongs, because they did not rein this idiot in. So their hopes and fears are that they're going to end up being restricted again. And their hopes are that they're free of this restriction, they can do their job. But again, it's been so long, they're still finding it hard to, you know, jump in. And so their fear is that they will end up restricted again. The outcome for the moment is, this is why it's taking them so long to gear up. The shadow side is, this is the devil, of course, healing, a release from the shadow that's hung over them for 4 years. And it's starting, but it is taking a little bit of time. That healing is starting. The 2 of Cups, the break from the Trump administration. And they're just finding their feet. They're having a little bit of trouble finding their feet and setting new boundaries with things. But that's a minor arcana. That it's not going to take them too long now. It's been slow, but within a few more weeks, they'll be more steady in finding their feet. So that's what I've read on your State Department.
Thank you, Chrissy. Whoever's next, Whimsy or Nina?
Oh, I can go. I mean, it's pretty fast. I mean, I think that it looks to me like we have a lot of hires to do. You can see an Ace of Wands moving into the State Department. They're very concerned about, you can see Lovers as the karma card. Who were they giving information? It can be a clandestine or a naughty relationship. Also, they're giving aid and comfort. You can see 6 of Pentacles moving in. Like I said, John Kerry is probably going to be working with Blinken pretty closely because of the Paris climate we got back into the Paris Climate Agreement. But Six of Pentacles moving in, assistance, and then transformation of the State Department. In terms of Pompeo's relationship, he sits in the card of jail. He's very defensive about what he did there. This is like where he sits in a defensive stance. Also, people he met, that Marie Ivanovich person, she and the people that were in trouble or had been attacked at the State Department potentially could be in positions of power going forward. It's almost like they get rewarded and they're put into positions of power. You have this new woman who had previously been vilified. Somebody comes in a position of power, is offered a new position or new power, possibly under Blinken. Pompeo, not good. His cards, he's going to have to justify or explain what he did. A lot of confusion also at the State Department. I think that they were selling and giving free access to information, and I think that they can't be accused of sabotaging. It's almost like they did the Trump technique, which is to ghost. It's like the countries they didn't want to do business with, they simply ghosted them. And so it's not like they were corrupt. They simply ignored them, and destroying those relationships has had, and ignoring those relationships has huge consequences. So that's what we're cleaning up right now. That's what I see.
All right, I'll be quick.
Absolutely.
I know we're kind of going. So just because I have a little tiny bit of a different slant, I got my Four of Wands. And if you see, these are people celebrating, but it's outside the White House. In the past, I got the 10 of Swords. So to me, this is saying that the Republic as it was not going to be successful. They were stuck in the past. This is also represented underneath them by the Hermit being reversed, being stuck in the past, being stuck in the ways of how to do things. Trump came along. He was able to fit into what was significant, people feeling left out, people feeling like they didn't have an ability, they didn't have work, they didn't have, and this is not just a couple of days or a couple of months. This is years, generations of people not being able to work. So here the devil is in place. They're not in the White House. They're not celebrating in the White House. They're celebrating among themselves. This was the start of now what is called the Trumps, the Trumpsters, what have you. The reality is that we've got the swords. This was them saying, you know what, we've got the tools, and the tool is our tongue to be able to be decisive, to take people, because they already feel like there's got to have a reason. When things are bad, you have to have somebody to blame. And you had this group of people. Now with coronavirus and everything else happened, it was the perfect time, the perfect storm. But what they don't realize is that when they looked at it above their head, they were thinking of the world in the sense of immigration. They went after the things that they knew that would speak to and call out to the white side, to the white supremacists, to the Proud Boys, to all these people, which unfortunately represent what they are now. And there's so many people that are just innocent bystanders that just want to have a better life. And they're being said that you're part of this group. And then that becomes defensive, and then it grows. So there's this lack of information. But when I look into the future, I got the devil reversed. So there's going to be recovery. There is going to be, and I truly think there's going to be a splitting off of the Republican Party. It'll never be what it once was. There's going to be a separation there. I feel that the devil is really representing, when you look into the state, Donald Trump and his people really put sex and vulgarity and things that shouldn't be part of that. And I think it's because there are people and people of power and money, and that's how he had his in. It was this nefarious devil, things that are not part of what most people would consider decent behavior. And that was the crux of it. So you put these two things together, it was the perfect storm for Donald Trump to do this. But I do see that, I don't see the state surviving as it was. I think that a lot of this was done on purpose. And I think there's going to be a change, but there will be a recovery, because I think there's a lot of people that were misinformed and were triggered because of their previous life experiences. And they're the ones that are going to go through the process of change. They're going to be the ones. So I think it's going to be a mixed bag of indecision, and you're going to see a splitting of two ways.
Interesting. Oh, that was good. You guys did good.
I agree. Okay, so I have had probably so many chats in there. They want to know about the stimulus check.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? Sorry. When I did the stimulus check about Trump, I literally, this was months ago, I said, Trump is not going to put it out. It's going to be when Biden comes in. So I truly, without my cards, I truly believe that Biden's going to come true. So we'll look at it. I want everybody to look at it. But I'm telling you, right from months ago, I was like, it won't be Trump. It's going to be Biden. And I just feel like, yes, that's going to be happening. So I do feel like there's going to be help. I don't want to hear anybody complaining that somebody who didn't deserve it got it. I don't care, because the people who need it, we need to get it to them. We'll worry about the shykesters and the stealers and all that after the fact. People are starving. People are dying. People are losing their jobs. People aren't able to get to the hospital. Help. For Christ's sake, help. So I believe the stimulus checks are going to go through. I
got that $600 at the bottom of that check still had Donald Trump on it.
So Sheila, in order to, there's 4 of us now, and I know we have a lot of questions. Do you want to have these like be blitzes, less than 5 minutes for everybody?
Yeah, let's do some blitzes and just like pull 3 cards and try to get so that we can get some more, because we still have quite a few questions to ask, and we're already at an hour. So yeah.
Okay.
So definitely. So let's do what we would do the stimulus checks, like 3 card draws, do some blitzes.
Okay.
See what's gonna happen.
Okay, who's first? What's the question?
About the stimulus check.
Stimulus checks. Yep.
So
are they? Yeah. What's going on with the stimulus? Go for it.
I'm going to go 4 of Cups, an offer that this is in the past. This was an offer that they didn't take because it wasn't good enough. Here we've got Biden and then we're in the 3 of Wands. They're looking at it, guys. I'm telling you, because guess what my outcome card is? It is the 10 of Pentacles. You're getting your money. We're in the money. We're in. I'm telling you guys, it's coming. I mean, I can't get a better card than the 10 of Pentacles. It shows money coming to the family and need. So yay. There's my 3.
I'll go fast. I did 3 with a 3 clarification, new partnership. I think the Republicans are in the clouds. Look at us, new beginnings. Look at the experts coming in. Bam, 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 bam. The Republicans, the response 5 of Swords walking away, and then the sun coming out. I think a lot of Republicans are going to have to join sides with us because they're falling apart, and they were going to try. Originally, the Republicans were going to try and resist it, but I think that we're going to get it because that opposition is getting weaker. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and go ahead.
Sorry, I've got the Wheel of Fortune first, which means it's sorry, Sheila, which means it's not the change people expect. So there's going to be a change of fortune. Not quite what people expect. It might be a little bit of disappointment, but in the compassion, the leader, intuitiveness. So overall, it might look disappointing, but there is going to be, it will pass. And I do think this is Kamala. And it's not going to be quite what people would hope. They might be a little bit disappointed, but there is help coming. So yeah.
I also got wishful thinking and strength. I got the 7 and strength, wishful thinking, 7 of Cups and strength. So that means that wishful thinking and that and all that help is coming to us. And then I also got the Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. So I think that this is the Knight is like, I'm coming in, Biden, the Democrats, whatever, we're going to charge in there. We're coming to the help, and then we get the Wheel of Fortune for that to come. I do believe also when Prince said, or Chrissy said, that It's not going to look the way it is because we're expecting 2,000. I think they're going to drop it down to 1,400, and I think it's just because that they're adding the 600 and the 1,400 and making that 2,000. I think that's probably confusing people, is that they thought that they were going to get the 2,000 coming in, but yeah. All right, so here's another question that they want to do is Kevin McCarthy. Why did he go visit Trump?
Okay.
So why did Kevin McCarthy go visit Trump?
3 cards?
Yes.
Quick.
Yeah. I'm having the worst thoughts.
Yes.
Oh,
My stomach just hurt.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead, Whimsy.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, the main thing has to do with money from the GOP. On the one hand, you have Mitch McConnell, who is Mr. Moneybags, and the RNC, and they're saying, get rid of Trump or we're not going to give you another dime. And this is what's happening with Fox News also. Fox lost a lot of sponsors. So the issue here is get with the new program, get with the new economy, or you're out of here. You can see here the green economy, the new economy, and then walking away. I think that Trump will be eventually abandoned because he's the economy. Here we have Trump in the middle. I'm going to be victorious, but unfortunately the people aren't buying it because there's a new kid in town. The sun is coming up. He weakens because of the new economy. So I think that what happened was that McCarthy went there trying to see if they could pay him, or it's almost like they want to pay Trump not to be a nuisance. It's kind of what Trump did to people. Oh, you've got some stuff in your back pocket against us. So how about we pay you $100,000 just to say nice things about us? So it's almost like it has that aspect when you go into this energy. It's almost like him saying, wow, you could do a lot of damage with our party, but how about we pay you this to just support these candidates and move us slightly more to a more moderate, acceptable form of the Republican Party. So that's actually what it looks like.
Interesting.
Go ahead, Nina.
I got the 6 of Pentacles. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's like, it's really just a him holding on to going to which side that benefits him at the end of the day.
I got negotiations. I got negotiations and quarreling, which is really weird. I also got the 6 of Pentacles, which is that resources. You know, he's a resource to them of some sort. I also got control in the 4 of Pentacles. Ace of Wands, passionate new beginnings, travel. And then the 3 of Pentacles, which is teamwork. They have... Okay, so this is the weirdest information that I've come across. He went down there to buddy up with him of some sort, teamwork, something's going on. Work with me, work with you, like you guys have been saying. I don't know. It seems weird. What do you got? It's Chrissy.
I got, he went down there. Now, the balance of power is so out of whack with Trump holding so much of it. So he was sent down there to try and help reverse this and to get things back on a more even keel with the leadership in the party having more influence, trying to get him to back off and regain some of the balance, because the Republican Party want to start again without him, basically. So he was sent down there to try and fix this imbalance, that imbalance. But Trump is not really cooperative. He is hanging in there. He will do anything to hang on to power. And even if these guys flex their muscles and show their strength, and they can, but they're still too scared of him. It's going to take a bit further out. So, yeah, so that's interesting. I saw a comment earlier on the comment things that Trump is apparently going to be meeting with some southern governors and senators and all that. So I don't know if what that's about, but I don't know if any of you know anything about that. But yeah, basically to try and reset some of the balance with the party in power, not Trump.
Well, my end card was the Six of Swords. So if we're looking at what was he doing there, it seems like there's some plan that they're trying to have that's going to be in the future. Do you know what I mean? If that's your future card, then this is hacking some kind of plan. So Trump and his people, there's something going on. There's something happening behind the scenes, and there's more people involved. And it's like there's a secret plan of some kind of grouping where they're all just kind of like, okay, everybody just come this way. This is not just, oh, he went to see him and, hey, I need money, or hey, I need this. There's some kind of plan. They're creating some kind of coup or some kind of civil war. Like, I'm telling you, the vibes on these cards are really negative, and I hate being negative because, you know, we want to be uplifted and happy, but there's really secret plans here, and it's almost like they're resting right now, retreat, but it's not a retreat as in they're not doing anything. It's a retreat, and they've got plans. So just to kind of bookend what everybody's saying, because I definitely feel that. I think that's, you know, so.
I'm dealing with trolls. Go for it.
Oh, sorry. What are trolls?
Not you. I mean, I'm just hide user. There's trolls. They were deleting him and hiding him.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about my card? It's almost like they've got this volatile, unstable, mentally insane person who sent a bunch of other crazy people. They're like his crazy army. And it's weird as a remote viewer. Sometimes you'll go in and you'll look at some of these people that are 50, 60, and they look like they've got Lewy body dementia. They might be drinking alcohol or doing drugs, which is like the worst thing that you should do when you've got Lewy body dementia. And one of the side effects of that type of dementia is you don't know the difference between the awake and the dream state. So you're doing things that are horrific, but it's like a dream. And that can also be a side effect of some of these medications that will raise dopamine. Another is that you think you're invincible and you go down to Vegas and you blow all your money and you give away all your worldly goods because you think you're going to be a millionaire. These are the side effects of people who are in treatment or have early signs of these kinds of conditions. But when you go into the energy of McCarthy, it's almost like they've got this volatile, crazy, dangerous person. And what he wants is money, and the Republican Party will give you money, but we've got to, it's like the actor needs an adjustment. And the problem they've always had with him as an actor, as a reality TV star, is that he doesn't take adjustments well like other actors. They'll tell him, okay, you're doing great, you're getting the crowds excited, now we need you to slightly adjust and talk a little bit about the economic. He'll ignore that and he'll just go on a rage rant. And I think that that's part of what McCarthy's trying to work with. It's like if they make him happy and give him money, maybe he'll shut up and stop threatening people. And it just doesn't work.
Yeah, something's fishy about it. Something does not sit with me very well at all.
And you're hearing
I
all
also
these
drew
people
another one that, again, I got the silence. Okay, so we're at about the end of the hour and stuff like that. So we're an hour and a half because I have to get ready and go to work. But there was one thing that everybody was in watching my get my thoughts together in my grand tableau where I got that a very important date, and everybody was thinking that possibly it was the March 4th date. Now, I have an echo, and I have no idea why I have an echo right now.
You have
close
your other screens. Close your other screens.
I don't have any other screens.
You're only opening one channel?
Yeah, I don't have any other screens whatsoever on there, so I don't know where it's coming from. But anyways, I don't want to give any credence to these wackadoodles who think that the March 4th is going to be another inauguration. And I guess rumor has it, there's so much information just dropping in. Like they're going to go down to Florida. They're going to inaugurate him there. So he's going to be, in president there or something along that lines. So what I want to do is that, I don't know where it's coming from. What I want to read on is the March 4th. What is going to happen to the Trump supporters and the wackadoodle QAnon people when that doesn't happen? Because it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Let's see how crazy they're going to get. What's everybody else getting?
I'm getting that they're going to throw in the towel, that they're going to give up. I mean, new leadership in D.C. They're in response to new leadership in D.C. They're disgusted. This is it for a lot of people. Walking away, the information coming out. They're heartbroken. To be honest with you, I think the QAnon thing could be falling apart because. Death and transformation. They go off to find a new cult. Potentially, there's going to be QAnon could fall apart, but unfortunately, because of the types of media that they're looking at, they could find themselves attracted to a new conspiracy, which has me concerned.
So I'm going to go because I know that I'm having a little bit of echoing, but here's the thing, the family, the contentment, the joy, the peace of, 45. But this is the Ten of Swords comes in. The Ten of Swords comes in. Again, they're going to be disappointed. Again, they're going to realize that it's a lie. Again, they're going to have to move the goalposts. Again, somebody was talking about even January 1st. I mean, there's so many dates that are floating out there, but whatever they're believing, their goalpost is just moving and moving and moving and moving. They have to come up with a new BS just to justify their wackadoodle ways. And that's the saddest part. That's the absolute saddest part. It says January 31st. Now, there's another date out there. Like, they're going to do something on January 31st. Crazy. All right. That's all I got. Who's next?
I'll go if you like. Three of Wands, their plans. It's like they're realizing that what they were promised is not going to happen. So this is the Three of Wands, and it's reversed. So their ships are not going to come in, and they're starting to realize that the plan that they were sold was just bull dust. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to start feeling really betrayed. I had a bit of a question about the Two of Wands here with the plans that they were sold. And so I drew a clarifier, and it's like they're going to move on. The problem is they're not going to wake up. They're just going to move on to somebody else who can manipulate them, and possibly someone even more dangerous. So there's going to be a lot of them. Some are going to realize it and grow up, but others are going to be even more open to manipulation. So it's, yeah, pretty much that's it.
Yep. I concur. I got the Chariot. Some are going to go this way and some are going to go that way. But at the end of it, there is a plan. There's the Three of Pentacles. So there is going to be a group of them that will continue. Now, I kind of got it a two-way, because with the Page of Pentacles being the future, you reap what you sow. So if there's going to be some that are going to go, hold on now, this is not real. What was I thinking? They're going to, have to take responsibility for whatever actions, especially if they had any legal actions or any of that kind of stuff. But they will kind of just put their head down and say, okay, learn from your mistakes, and they will move on. But you're going to have another fraction. God help me. And they're going to continue, and they're going to have this little subgroup that are going to be like, no, we know it to be true, because the judgment is there and they can't let go. Their mind. These are not people that are, you can talk to and rationally say, hey, let's see side A and side B and come together. A lot of these people are broken, whether that be mentally, as a child, in their life, in their economy, whatever it is, they're broken, and they need something to fill in that space that's broken. And I know we judge it and think how awful, because it's such awful, but you got to think, when you're doing awful things, you're coming from a really awful place. And I see a lot of these people coming from a place of judgment, but it's because they're so broken. There's got to be empathy and sympathy for these people. I know it's hard, because you don't, but it's true. It's not because of cruelty. There's something broken. There's a need in them. And it's really comes down to always just belonging, needing somewhere to belong. And they're searching for somewhere to belong, and they'll find it. So that's how I see it, my friends. I feel like everybody goes like really dead quiet. I'm just waiting.
No, we were just trying to keep the echoing. The echoing down. Okay, so does anybody have? Well, I think it's time to go.
Whimsy, did Whimsy?
Oh, did Whimsy go? Whimsy.
Yeah, didn't I? I thought I did. I think I was the first person to go. No celebrity. We're not going to close with celebrity gossip.
We are going to do another thing where I want each and every one of you to bring up 3 of your. Do we have celebrity gossip?
Wendy Williams, how you doing? Holy sugar!
Matthew McConaughey's book is supposed to be pretty good. It hit 1 million. It's actually really well written. Supposedly, it's on the New York Times bestseller list. I can't remember the name of Matthew McConaughey's book, but his wife was teaching people how to make cold salad without mayo, and she was talking about they eat really, really healthy. They're really health conscious, and I thought, but I was watching it today because I was thinking about celebrity gossip, and I was thinking, because I don't find him even slightly attractive, Matthew McConaughey. But his wife.
I heard that he doesn't use deodorant or anything like that. He's so natural.
But isn't he a vegan? Isn't he plant-based?
I don't know. He doesn't. He's like really musty smelling, is what I hear, is because he just doesn't. He doesn't believe in any of that.
All right.
That's what I think of him. That's what I think of.
We'll just be good acquaintances from a distance.
Yeah, exactly.
I like his chest, and I like his eyes, but yeah. Who doesn't like his chest? Come on.
Jackie says, Wendy Williams, awful person. Who is that? Who's Wendy Williams?
Wendy Williams, how you doing? She's a talk show host. She is nasty, and you love to hate her or you hate to love her. It's one way or the other. She's got a biopic coming out. I'm really excited. I gotta tell you, I am. Yeah, my guilty pleasure, Wendy Williams. How you doing? I love to hate.
I have a question for Nine's corner for Nine.
Yes, ma'am.
Of the new music that's coming out, because we're covering celebrity. Who are some of the new bands that are getting attention right now that you think actually have talent, as somebody who follows music?
Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. Because I guess I'm an 80s child, and I stick to what I know, and really my education has gone backwards. I'm back in the 60s, 50s, 40s, and I enjoy all of it. So that's kind of, and getting into the musicals. Now, I do love Adele. I do love like fun rap kind of dance songs. And I mean, I know they're nasty. The language is bad. I don't play it around my children. But there's a freedom to being like, I'm a bee. Like, there's something fun about it. Like, I'm a monster. So I like all those kind of like freedom kind of songs. So Nicki Minaj, all that. So yeah, but that's more like, I need my freedom. I want to feel my women powder. Yes, grab them by the, you know. Everybody needs to have that. So I enjoy the fun of it, but I'm not enjoying. There's nobody out there that I can say that I'm like, whoa, I am into them. Like Ed Sheeran, like, okay. Nobody that I'm, you know, there's no, you know, there's no Doors. There's no Jimi Hendrix out there. There's nobody that's like making me go, wow, this is a change. I mean, the Paul McCartneys, all them, they've been there. They're what I go to. So yeah. Sorry.
Check out the Decemberist out of Oregon. The Decemberist.
The Decemberist.
Yeah, steampunk. You'll love it.
Oh, okay.
Steampunk. I love steampunk.
The Decemberist. Check them out.
And I do like the piano guys and a lot of that kind of stuff. If anybody's interested, look up the piano guys. Really awesome. And they do these videos where they go all around the world in these unique areas. And it's just, they're religious, but you know, I like using every person or whatever. And I don't care about what their past is or what their likes are, because, you know, if anything, like we've learned from Bill Cosby and stuff, sometimes you got to take the sin away from the sinner to be able to, do you know what I mean? Like, he still was an impactful person. He changed the way Black people were seen on television. And just because he's a miserable sinner does not take away from the fact that it was impactful. So I always try to look at people and things as something that can impact me, but I let you be human. So I don't want to hear people going, oh, you know, they're this, that, and the other thing. I know, you know, but I have to separate that and to be able to enjoy the benefit of the vibration of music or that kind of a thing.
Yeah, you need to check out some good old Aussie garage rock from the 80s. You need to check out Cold Chisel, The Angels, you know, and a really great blues singer, Australian legend, Renee Gayer. Oh, wonderful voices. And, you know, yeah, I'm a child of the 80s or teenager of the 80s too. I always just grew up with music in the house all the time. And strange turn, the other thing I absolutely love is a male tenor singing in Italian. Honestly, bones melt. It's just like, Caruso is one of my favorite pieces of music ever. One of my favorite songs ever. So yeah.
All right, Prince. So that I don't know what that'll tell you about me. So
I liked Prince.
Love Prince.
Yeah, he's cool. Raspberry Beret.
Absolutely, Jackie. Journey, Prince.
Very good.
Hello, who sang that song? Hello. Hello.
That was Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie. Oh, I listen to Lionel Richie like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like crazy. Still do.
Yeah. The minute you said Journey, I got that film clip in my mind where they're miming everything in the air.
Journey.
Cracks me up every time.
All right, guys. So remember I kind of asked you guys to bring up at least 3 of your mentors. So if you guys want to go ahead, let's start with Chrissy. So who 3 of your mentors that got you interested in the metaphysical or who feeds your soul in a regular basis? You can have one. It's just
Linda
up to 3.
Linda G. I've learned so much from her. Lena Rodriguez from down here. You know, just watching her and learning. And believe it or not, I'm so embarrassed, but Whimsy, I turned on to you and it was like, wow. And your empathy and compassion and that sort of watching you and come out with your remote view and everything, it helped me open up that empathetic side of myself. And I've got to say it, my girl Sheila here, if I have a tricky thing, like I had a tricky thing the other week, and I got hold of her in PM, and she got back to me as soon as possible, and we were able to have a little bit of a chat. She really settled my mind about it. So thank you, my love, and everything. But yeah, so yeah, so that was 4.
That was 4. All right. So whoever's next, Nina or Whimsy, whoever wants to go next.
I'll go. Okay, I'll go. First, probably my mom, because my mom was a psychic and an astrologer. But you know what? She never charged. We didn't have to be poor. I wish that and she was really, really good. So I kind of wish that she had known just how good she was. But the other thing that was great about having a mom that was interested in all of this stuff is that she was an avid reader. So there were literally, we had libraries filled with books about the tarot. So she's definitely one of my favorite mentors for that. I think about people that have inspired me spiritually. My rabbi when I was a kid, of course. Who else? I don't know.
I know. There's so many of them.
Probably my teachers at school. I have a lot of teachers that have inspired me. But in terms of the tarot community, like who am I really impressed with? I think Linda G is extremely talented. I think Lena Rodriguez also extremely talented. I love Sheila because she's calm and she opens the space for other people. The other thing I like about Sheila the reader is she doesn't judge. She simply allows the other person to, I think that's an important, that's why you're good at interviewing. So yeah, those are my mentors.
Oh. Well, thank you. Nina?
Okay, I guess I'm a little bit, I didn't take it that way. I looked at what was it that, what you said about enlightenment. So I can honestly say as a child, I had a knowing about God being within me. And I had a father that through his actions and not his words taught me gratitude. He brought me out in nature. I mean, I'd be woke up to go get watch the sunset with him on the pond. I would be woke up to see birds or to see a cow being born, and their love for nature and their respect for nature. That really was the basis of my connection. And I think because I had this connection, I think we all have a connection as a child, and you lose that connection. But because of the way my father was, and then my mother was my best friend who never judged me. She allowed me to speak. She treated me as though I was a whole person, even as a child. I was allowed to have an opinion. I was allowed to express myself. And because my father was always sick and dying from the time I was born, death and dying was a big conversation. And I just had a knowing about it. And through my journey through life, through meeting people and music and songs and movies and everything that touches our lives, I feel as though when I met my husband, he was that comfortable, unconditional love that allowed me to have somebody who was like my father, who had gratitude for life, who shared those loves that I have about nature. And then I also had somebody who encompassed my mother, who allows me to speak and be myself and loves me for it, and really allows me to be a part of this journey and see it. So I try not to have the influence of others on me because they're human and they will make mistakes. And my belief systems are not the same as so many. So I try to stay within myself and my own truth. And that's where my enlightenment comes, because enlightenment's not out there or based on anybody else. It's the enlightenment that I get from myself and my relationship and trust with God, whatever that is for, anybody. But that's where I really think it's an internal thing. It's not something out external, and certainly not anything I can get from anybody. So I just kind of looked at it as how my life played out. So that's my enlightenment.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of was on the same with Nina. And although I love readers, I mean, Whimsy inspired me to do the remote viewing, to get deeper into that. Autumn from Black and Orange, she inspired me to do YouTube. I mean, I was watching her. I'm like, I could do this. I could do that. Right. So she gave me that inspiration to want to get on there as well, especially since Spirit was, hammering it into me. But, these are the type of things that, I watched Nina from the get-go, and she just had integrity, and I loved that about her. And in Footprint, she just has this wonderful, wonderful confidence that she has to get on and just do it. You know what I mean? She just puts herself out there, and everything is what it is with her. And I love that confidence. Now, I had some inspirations where, Abraham Hicks, I listened to Abraham Hicks constantly. I find that all the explanations and all the questions that are brought to her, she's able to channel and to understand. So I really like her. Another one is Beckwith, Michael Bernard Beckwith. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. I listened to him. He's actually in California, and he's a reverend or something like that, or a preacher or something like that. But anyways,
talking about
Michael Bernard Beckwith.
Yeah, he has the church, the Center for Spiritual Living or something like
that. Yeah, that he gets on there. He's on YouTube, and I listen to him. But he was the first ones. I mean, I listened to him when I was getting CDs and putting them in my car, and listening to him on road trips constantly. Also, Oprah. I have to bring up Oprah. Oprah has been. I literally gave birth to my son at 9:20 a.m. watching Oprah. Okay? In Chicago. I was in Chicago, and I'm telling you, what did she say? You know what I mean? Giving birth and watching Oprah. So Oprah actually was my first one to ignite that opening inside of me as well. As a young woman, and watching her go through her ups and downs, weight problems, all of it. And then her having her own channel and all her success. So if I had to put a top-notch one, it would be absolutely Oprah Winfrey. She does this soul Sundays and things like that, where she talks to people who do this stuff. She talks to people who are enlightened and who writes books, and she does.
I love Ayana.
Yes. So Oprah Winfrey would be my top-notch one.
It's not to interrupt you, Sheila, but when I scanned you and I went forward, I saw you becoming a talk show host like Oprah.
She's been there for me. I mean,
I saw you getting Going Network within about 2.5 years. Like, this show would probably Comedy Central or some cable giving you a deal. But it was kind of interesting. That was before I think we even worked together, didn't I? When did I get that?
I had gotten a reading from you before we even went live and all of that. I had gotten a reading from you from the get-go. You really didn't even know who I was when you were giving me the reading.
It's so weird. Like, I'm seeing you building the skeleton of what's going to be your own show and everything. And it was like so crazy for me. Like, I followed the energy, and now I'm like on the show, and the audience I was like, oh my gosh, you did it. It's crazy.
You were there. And my spirit keeps on telling me, slow it down a little. Slow, little baby speed, to get through. But I know that it's all coming through. And I knew the moment I saw Nina, I already knew. How do I put this without sounding like Sheila's a freak? I coveted her, if that makes any sense. I'm like, I want to know her. And I knew that the moment her first thing, and also the same with Whimsy, I wanted to know her. Just like with Chrissy, I want to know her. Right? These are the things. This is how I grow. Now, there's also, and we'll quit with this, there's a lot of things out there, and I am a learner by watching people who, don't do that. I don't know if anybody understands what I'm trying to say. Like, I see somebody else treat somebody badly or have a lot of judgment and all that. I learn by somebody else's, like, I'm not going to do that. And I do the opposite. I'm not going to do that. I have learned like that almost all of my life. Is anybody else like that? Like watching somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was also something.
If I see someone do something and my first response is, why on earth would they do that to another person? It's something that I wouldn't do, you know. So it's like, if I get a negative from what they're doing, it's like, well, that's a clear indication that's not the way you go in life. And so I mean, sometimes you can say it's not the way I would handle it, but you know,
yes,
sort of
that's the best way to say it. That's not,
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I think this is a lovely way to raise the vibration before we head on out. Thank you so much. And next week at same time, same place. What do you say? And Nina stayed here the whole time.
Yeah. So I have a comment, just a quick comment before we go about Nina. I have to say, of all of the people other than Sheila that belong on the remote view, I feel like Nina incarnated on this planet to be a co-host on the remote view. I just look into that chair. I've got an opinion and I'm going to give it. Yes.
Sorry.
No, louder. We want the view. We want to create that. And so I just think you do a great job, Nina.
I'd be happy to come back.
There's so much love here. Love.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely, Chrissy. Thank you.
I don't mind. I can, you know, I can be a real late owl at times, and it gives me, sometimes I get very creative, and it can give me time to. I was a late out when I was studying, so it was like it's something I get used to very quickly. But yeah, I'd love to come back, and if you guys are okay with that, because it's so much fun, and I learn so much from watching you. And I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. Okay, everybody smile, because this is like the last one, so we get a good picture in. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, good picture.